Alright, so it's been a few months. In fact, it's been several months since I last made a video sitting in this used 2017 Toyota Mirai that I got last year at a fairly substantial discount. And I actually got this car in September 2021, and it's now September 2022, so that's what this video is going to be, a 1-year review. Is this car worth it in the long run? What's the total cost of ownership? Well, this video is going to answer those questions. Stay tuned. I'm actually on my way right now to Aliso Viejo to show you guys one particular issue that has arisen since I got this car and since last year. A true zero-sum nightmare, pun intended. Alright, so I've now pulled into the Aliso Viejo True Zero hydrogen station. Look at this price per kilogram. Absolutely ridiculous. $19.45. Now, it wasn't always this way. Before July, it was only $12.93 a kilogram. So in just one day, earlier this year, it went up by $7 a kilogram from what it was, which is absolutely ridiculous. This is why I like to call July 8th, 2022 the day the FCV died. Because if you want to encourage adoption, this is not the way to do it. So with this in mind, I'm going to take you guys over to my current go-to hydrogen station, the one that I now go to after this happened, the only hydrogen station in the area, the only vendor that has not increased the prices. So I'm now heading over to the Iwatani station in San Juan Capistrano, which, unlike this one, didn't raise their prices in July. Now, it is still more than this one was, but it's nowhere near as much as this one is now. Now, bear in mind as we're heading there, a kilogram of hydrogen is a lot. Think about it, hydrogen is lighter than air. So enough hydrogen to weigh a kilogram is a lot. In fact, it's a full quarter of a tank in this thing, but still. So I'm now at the Iwatani station in San Juan Capistrano. You notice it's much less here, only $16.54 a kilogram instead of close to 20. Not exactly ideal, but it is better than what I was seeing before. It also, though, the station is less reliable, or at least it has become such more recently. We've had issues with short fills. But yeah, this is the only vendor. In fact, they've got other stations now. Iwatani has another one in Hawaiian Gardens that they just opened. It's even less than this. It's only 15 a kilogram. So much better than the nearly 20 that True Zero is charging. And Air Products, who operates the UC Irvine station that Linus Tech Tips made a video at, they've also raised their prices to roughly the same as True Zero. So this is the only encouraging price here. So besides this fuel issue, what other negatives do we have with this car? Well, another big one is the weight of it, because you have to store the hydrogen in order to power a fuel cell at extreme pressures. In this case, we're talking 70 megapascal or 10,000 plus psi, extremely high pressures that you need in order to store the hydrogen necessary to power a fuel cell, and that puts substantial weight on the car, which in turn, because I DoorDash, that also puts substantial stress on the tires and the brake pads and the rotors. I've had to replace the pads, the rotors, and the tires more than once over the past year in this thing, so keep that in mind if you're looking for one. Alright, now that we've gone over the negatives, what about the positives? Are there any good things about this car? Spoiler alert, yes there are. Biggest benefit, by far, has got to be the handling characteristics, because of the way a fuel cell works. It actually strips the electrons off the hydrogen as it's trying to combine with the oxygen in the air, and that generates enough electricity to spin a motor. So because of that, the motor is the only moving part. You don't have any moving parts to generate the electricity, and for that very reason, it does feel and handle like something fully electric. That instant acceleration that you get with a Tesla, yeah, you're also going to get that with this for that reason. Another benefit is the safety features. So it's got a very smart cruise control that can actually detect whether cars are slowing down in front of you using radar and slow your speed accordingly without you needing to intervene. Not as good as Tesla Autopilot, but hey, you can't have everything in a bargain this good. There's also parking assist, lane departure alerts, which one of them actually went off earlier while we were making part of this video, blind spot monitors, All good stuff. And last but certainly not least is the major role that hydrogen is likely to play in a far distant future in which we eventually run out of oil. As I mentioned in a video that I made back in February that also featured this car, things like fracking, all that's doing is delaying the inevitable. You're eventually going to run out of oil, whether it's 50 years or 100 years, and you have to plan for that long before it actually happens. Recently, the Fully Charged show made a video on Oceanbird. That's the wind-powered wing-sailing cargo ship that they're designing up in Scandinavia somewhere. Yeah, those Vikings really know what they're doing. They've got 1,000 years of hands-on experience sailing the seas, so good on them. They should know what they're doing. They managed to design a ship that uses basically airplane wings turned vertically in order to sail on the wind instead of the traditional fabric sails, because these airplane wings turned vertically, well, they've got much more aerodynamic properties to them. When I saw that video, and I put the link to that video in the description as well, I thought, wait a minute. You've got the wind, you've got the water, you've got the wind pushing the ship through the water, which creates ram water pressure. Why not use that to power an electrolyzer on board to electrolyze hydrogen right out of the ocean? You could make a ton of hydrogen that way. And yeah, sure, you may have some places like the doldrums that aren't windy at all in the ocean as well, but those are very small portions of the ocean surface. 90% plus of the ocean surface is windy, which means that even if you have a backup fuel cell that uses some of that hydrogen to get through the doldrums and the horse latitudes, you're still going to end up with a surplus of hydrogen at the destination regardless. Enough of a surplus of hydrogen at the destination, I might add, to refuel thousands of Toyota Mirais. Easy. Alas, that kind of a scenario is still several years away. So what about now? How is this thing gonna work from here on out? Well, I'm stuck with this for a few more years if I decide not to trade it in, but I do notice that the trade-in value is climbing on these types of vehicles. The resale value is going up, which is a good sign. If I can get enough out of this Mirai to get an Aptera next year, then yeah, I definitely would. But the chances of that happening are slim, given that I've still got a loan to pay off with this. So I might just barely get out of it what I financed on it. We'll see. In the meantime, I'll keep you guys posted. Yeah, this will be great. So if you're wondering in the meantime how you can support me, well, for one thing, notice I'm wearing my own merch. I actually designed this using Printful, so you're getting print-on-demand, fabricate-on-demand shirts. If you were to, I put the link in the description, go down there, check it out. The QR code on this shirt points right to the Shopify store that it's being sold on, so nice loop there. And if you open the side navigation and also, or just click the links in the description, there's a few examples down there as well, you've got all the links in the side navigation to all the digital streaming platforms: Spotify, Apple Music, this channel, which is mainly an artist channel. I rarely use it for these kinds of videos, but see you when the next song comes out. And yeah, it was great seeing you guys right now.